You hear my air conditioning in the background because it's really muggy here in Oklahoma. But my son's playing video games in the other room. Just ignore that. But, this is my first video. I want to explain where I came from. My parents received the Truth Book in 1968, right before I turned 2 years old. I was raised in the organization. From then on, I don't remember anything before that. When I was a kid, everything seemed fine. I guess when I got to be about 8, 9 years old, I started seeing things inside the Kingdom Halls that bothered me. People that got in trouble for doing things that were wrong and nothing ever happened to them. I think majority of it because it was elders' kids, and nothing very harsh happened to them. And I didn't think that was right. My father, he was a ministerial servant from the time I was pretty young, and he was the very mean man who beat his wife and beat his son. He was very emotionally abuseful to his whole family. And when he walked into the Kingdom Hall, he put on a smile and he was really nice in front of everybody at the Kingdom Hall. And then as soon as we'd leave the Kingdom Hall and got back in the car to go home, then he was a terrible monster again. That we were all scared. We were scared. When he came home from work, we were scared. We'd hide. Us kids, we'd hide. We didn't know what to expect. But he was very mean. And later on, he developed kind of a God complex. He'd punish us for things that we had no control over whatsoever. I had invited a girl over to spend the night from the Kingdom Hall. And I was required to tell my dad 2 weeks in advance. So I asked my friend if she could come over in 2 weeks from then and spend the night, and she said sure. So I told my dad 2 weeks from now my friend's gonna come spend the night. Well, a couple of days before she was supposed to spend the night, she called and she canceled. She said something came up and she couldn't make it. So I told my dad, and I got punished because something happened in her plans that changed her plans, and I got in trouble for it and my dad just went irate. He was like, well, I rearranged my whole schedule because there'd be other people in the house, and now it's all fall apart. So it was like, man, I didn't even invite people over anymore. I didn't want friends in the Kingdom Hall because they couldn't spend the night. I couldn't spend time anywhere. I couldn't do anything. And I wasn't allowed to have, friends in school. And school was another thing, being a Jehovah's Witness kid, how you're always on the outside. You can't go to the parties, you can't celebrate the birthdays and all that, and going somewhere else in a room somewhere by yourself because the rest of the class is having a Halloween party or something like that. And I was kicked, beat, spit on, called names, you name it. School was not fun. I didn't look forward to going to school. There was nothing good to look forward to in my life. Just couldn't do anything. And my parents pressured me to get baptized. They were on me all the time. I think I was 14 or 15. I can't remember exactly when I got baptized, but they were unrelentless. When are you going to get baptized? When are you going to get baptized? When are you going to get baptized? So I finally told them, okay, just so they'd quit. I mean, it wasn't something that I chose to do. It wasn't something I picked to do. It was something that they wanted for me, and there was nothing else in life, We were told we couldn't go to school, when we graduated high school, there was nothing past that. We couldn't go to school because this system wasn't going to last that long. There was no use in doing any of that stuff. So I didn't have any future in school to look forward to. But there I was, young, baptized, regrettably, and didn't know what in the world was going to happen. Didn't have any friends. And one day on the way to school, I was attacked and raped. And I gathered myself up and went to school. I went to the school nurse, told the school nurse, who called my parents and the police. And the first thing my dad did was to go to the elders and find out if he was going to lose his spot as a ministerial servant because of what happened to me. And I was shocked. I was like, I felt like I had been neglected. I mean, not really neglected. There's got to be a stronger word for that. I couldn't believe that he was more worried about himself than his daughter. Why are you worried about your place in the kingdom hall and your daughter's just been hurt? And then the elders came to visit me, wanted to know all the details. And I really didn't want to discuss all the details with 3 grown men in the room, and all the questions they were asking were just kind of way too private. I didn't want to discuss it. Well, I told them that I needed some kind of counseling. The only counseling they offered was to sit and talk to the elders. And, how am I supposed to sit and talk to 3 grown men who are elders about the kinds of things that a woman goes through when she's violated like that? And what kind of help can they be? I don't think that they understood. I don't think that they were able to give me the kind of help that I really felt I needed. And my father said, well, it's because if you go to counseling outside of the organization, they're not going to give you scriptural advice, and it'll do more harm than good to you. And so if you need counseling, you'll have to go to the elders. And I didn't want to do that. And so basically I had nobody to talk to. My parents didn't talk to me about stuff like that. So I just kind of was depressed over that, and I was told that since that had happened to me, that I'd have a hard time finding anybody that ever wanted to marry me. I mean, I was ruined, so, who would marry me? And I thought, that's terrible. I don't have a future at all. I can't go to school. No one's going to want to marry me. I'm not going to have anything in my life. I'm not going to be anybody. What am I supposed to do? And so I just kind of temporarily lost my mind, I guess. I started drinking. I picked up a whole bunch of friends from school, and we were skipping school and going to movies and drinking whiskey in the bars, in the caves along the Mississippi, and getting together, have a whole bunch of fun. And I wound up pregnant. Well, then, of course, in another meeting with the elders, and the elders are saying, you have to say you're sorry for being pregnant. You have to feel bad about that. And I didn't feel bad about being pregnant. That wasn't the point. If they would have said I had to feel bad about having sex and getting pregnant, that would have been different. But I wasn't going to say I was sorry for being pregnant, because I wasn't. Because I always considered children a gift. And I wasn't going to say in front of everybody that I was sorry for that. So I got disfellowshipped, and my next video, I'll tell you what happened after that. Thanks for listening anyway.